When I first got involved in Florida, the climate was somewhat mixed. There had been improvements, Lawrence versus Texas, but discrimination was legal and there were a lot of places that we weren't accepted. And Lambda's work is certainly very, very important. So it was important to create a way for people to get involved and to donate.
My entry point with Lambda Legal was in the early aughts when I first met Tony Timoreos and Arthur Crispino. They were essentially bringing Lambda Legal to South Florida.
Tony had a vision for how he was going to build this up and create this fundraiser. And he asked me to help, and I was all too happy to do it.
The first event that was ticketed, people paid to come, was held at our house. We were expecting 75 to 100 people. The host committee did such a great job, it ended up being over 200 people.
That was really the impetus to say, we need a new place to have these events. And then the Bonnet House was a stroke of genius, and it's been there ever since.
In the Broward community, the Lambda Legal event became really one of the first large LGBTQ fundraisers.
It was very exciting to see people coming together to support this new organization for Fort Lauderdale. It was Lambda Legal who I feel, when they came to Fort Lauderdale, actually pulled the community together. We all felt as if we were one and that we were fighting for the same thing.
What motivated me to become involved in Lambda and to stay involved in Lambda is how successful they have been. It's changed the country in a very positive way. But the work is not done, and if anything right now, especially in Florida, we're going backwards a bit.
They've really taken the direct target at the trans community, and especially trans youth, which is really sad.
I know of people that have left, that have moved out of Florida, especially young trans people that are worried about their medical care. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay here and fight.
I think Lambda Legal plays a more important role than it ever has. We're all in this together, and it's so important for us to continue doing this year after year to make sure we don't slip back totally into the past.
I think what certainly contributes to my continued involvement with Lambda Legal as a volunteer and a donor is the great work done by the staff. They're dedicated to the cause. The outcomes have been terrific in the court cases. And that's really motivational, I think, to all the volunteers. If you believe that a rising tide lifts all ships, I think the Lambda Legal tide has lifted a lot of ships.
My message to those that are here with us now and really coming for the first time is thank you. Thank you for thinking about Lambda, learning about Lambda, and I'm inviting you to share the mission of Lambda with your friends that aren't here.
I think it's important that at a certain age and when you're in a certain position in a career, that you realize that you have to begin to give back. Lambda Legal is a wonderful way for LGBT people to give back. I would just say get involved, join, and give.